Rocking with your boy Czarr, all rights reserved. CommenterNation, greatest nation since United Nations. Stand up. You heard me jamming in here, holding things down, listening to one of the greatest in the industry to ever do music. What's up, Queen? How you doing today?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's another day. Now, I had some different things I talked in the video, but quickly, I wanted you to come up and speak about something that you wanted to talk about real quick. Anything that you had in mind dealing with any of the subjects we have?
Uh, well, for one, I mean, there's a lot of energy moving around currently right now, and I think that I just wanted to say one thing pertaining to how people are viewing things and doing their best, as you say over and over again, to remain objective. Because we're looking at what's currently happening from the platform of YouTube, but also how uh, the demise of the old way of media is fading out from the television screen to the YouTube screen. Um, but there still seems to be a commonality with both, to where a lot of people are still using the aspect of looking at things that everyone, no matter who's being accused, whether if it's someone famous, someone with a big name like Michael Jackson or R. Kelly or even X, or maybe even these suspects, for instance. I'm not saying they're in the same platform or whatever, but it's important for people to realize that we live in a country that states that we are innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of people out here running around accusing everybody and blaming people as if they are guilty. And then when they're dead and gone, that's when they want to proclaim their innocence.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
What are your thoughts as far as so these suspects? Is it plausible that any of them could get off free?
Okay. Let's get into that. For one, I'm gonna say it like this. I put out a video on my channel, and I'm just gonna put my plug in while we at it. Queen Prodigy on YouTube and also on Twitter, and y'all can hit me up on IG at Queen Prodigy 0369. But on the YouTube channel for Queen Prodigy, there was a video that specifically talked about the case, and someone that's very dear to me gave some information. What they happened to give me was information pertaining to their bail. Okay. Now, when you're looking at this bail information, there are two suspects that don't have any bail money. They don't have any bail set. It is what it is, right? Then you look at these two other suspects, and one in particular has a bail as low as $25. Now, if you don't mind me asking you, Czarr, when someone has a bail that is extremely low and they're facing murder charges, what does that say to you?
It means that they're not being kept there against their will. And what that tells me is that something's funny.
Okay. And at this point in time, who do you think will actually have the lowest bail at this point in time amongst the four suspects that we're currently looking at?
Anybody but Trayvon Newsom. But if I was to guess a person, let's see. If I was to guess that, my thoughts personally would probably be Robert Allen. I'd be like, because, he, I don't know. I really don't see how he was denied. I don't see where, if we're going to go off body shapes, he fits into having committed the crime, nor Diedrich, at that matter, as far as being the person on camera. So that's where my confusion would be right there. Trayvon's like sticking to the code, like not speaking about anything, but the other guys, they're not speaking either. They literally asked for a grant to get more eyes on the case. They haven't, it doesn't really seem like they spoke. Whatever they said to their lawyer, and that's a lawyer-client confidentiality. But there's a reason their lawyers are moving a certain way, which leads me to believe these lawyers that are very experienced, I might add, are probably seeing some level of potential innocence, maybe. And that's an alleged, we don't know, but I'm just saying that could be allegedly it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't remember which suspect has a bail of 2,500 or lower. I can't remember specifically.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But
crazy.
It's crazy. But I do remember the one that got $25 bail, and that's homeboy. That's been saying a whole lot of stuff. That's been asking for a whole lot of evidence from this situation. Who's been asking to have forensics experts and gang experts and private investigators.
Diedrich D. Williams asked for an audio and video expert. Robert Allen asked for a forensic expert. And now Micheal Boatwright's claiming from two specific people to see their statements. This is the way a team game was played to set them up. Now they're playing a team game.
Because they're realizing their life is on the line.
And they're like, hold up. What did these people say? I don't know why. You know, I never said the name of the two people. You guys can read it for yourself, but there is a purpose behind it. Best believe that. And what's funny to me is everybody that was making comments about, oh, it's simple conspiracy. All of you should shut up. This is the time. If you've ever sat up here and said this to any of us, shut up. Shut up and don't let me hear you speak again. I'm just telling you ahead of time. Don't have me let you. I don't want to see you speak again. Matter of fact, I better see you just posting pictures, kumbaya, like, yeah. I don't want to see you speak again because it's going to turn up, and I'm going to turn up on you because that's going to make me believe you were part of what it is that I already know. So it's best you shut up. And that's to any of you. I don't care if you're a DJ scratching, if you're I don't care who you are. Shut up. You know what it is. You see what's happening. You see it like us. So hop out and try and say something. You're just going to expose yourself. That's part of. Now, let me also ask this. Now, a lot of you came around for the Jocelyn Flores story I did. So let me ask this. Do you have any specific thoughts on the Jocelyn Flores case, Queen?
Well, for one, just I recall reading an article when this situation initially happened, and it just seemed a little off to me because the feeling that I kept getting from that particular situation is, for one, you have someone who, makes a song about someone, you know what I'm saying, who committed suicide, from what the police reports are saying. And that takes a lot of, I guess you can say a lot of pain to bear, because there's obviously a lot of guilt or a lot of, I guess you can say just a lot of pressure, from having someone around. But keep in mind, it could be a couple of different ways. I keep feeling like there's just two different situations that could be happening around this particular situation. When you're reading, or when I was reading the story, it seemed like, okay, you know what I'm saying, homegirl was in a car, with two other people, and, shorty was dropped off, left in a hotel, and I'm assuming these people, whoever these gentlemen were, went to go get something to eat or whatever, came back, and I guess homegirl was in the bathroom for quite some time, and then they eventually walk in on her. And I mean, it just kind of seems a little strange to me that for that entire time that they didn't see what was going on, I guess, or knock on the door, or, like there's some sort of discrepancy within the time frames of actually checking on this young girl, because technically she was a minor, right? So
yeah, she was 16.
Right. So since she was 16, and let's be honest, at that time, Czarr had a whole bunch of extra stuff going on, right? He's blowing up. He has extra nonsense happening around him with his ex, and you can't really keep any type of extraness around you, especially when you're being watched as much as you're being looked at. So it makes some some sense, like as far as like, okay, yeah, you wanted to work with someone, or you wanted to work with this girl, you thought she was a model or whatever it is, then you find out she's not of age. Right?
Well,
so then what do you do?
Allegedly, when I'm told, Florida law is that around 16 you can consent, and up to the age of 23 they can consent. Now I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying that's what I'm told about Florida law. Up to the age of 23 they can consent to doing things, even if they're around the age of 16 or 17. I'd have to check in on that, but I was told by a pretty reliable person. Okay, so Betty's saying that's true. In comments, that's true. So it's not who she consented to. My thing is what unconsented could have happened. From my understanding, there were two girls that were at the place with X. Once again, money went missing. Couldn't be found. He kicked both of them out. So where he's being seen as an abuser, he didn't beat no one up. He didn't do that. Kicked them out. And then going forward, there was a situation where it says one of the friends around him saw she was kicked out and gave her a ride somewhere. Now, the report itself shows they didn't arrive at the place that was within a mile to 2 miles. Let me give him 5 miles to be nice. Okay. Let's say the report's completely wrong. Say it was like 5 to 10 miles. And they didn't reach the destination till 2 to 3 hours later. How's that possible? And then what we're being told is that she immediately locked herself in the bathroom. So she's hurt, she's distraught, she locks herself in the bathroom. Really? So she's hurt, distraught, locks herself in the bathroom. And you're telling me this is a girl who, if you get the consent, you can do stuff with? And that happened to be from one of your boys, and you didn't try and smash, and it's like close to midnight. Let's be real. Would these two guys really not attempt to smash? And I'm supposed to believe, oh, superheroes. You're just taking care of this girl, and you didn't try and make a move or feel some type of way because of the lifestyle she chose. I'm supposed to believe you're that good of a guy, but it would get nasty for you if I actually said that I not only think that's false, but I have a totally different narrative I could go buck wild with. But I'm really going to let you rest on that. And here's the thing. Even if the money was found on her, who wouldn't pocket the money around him? He would have received that stolen money back, right? But could that have been the same money that was used to pay for her stay there, let alone other things that are going on? So the question is, who really took the money? Because allegedly, we know of stuff disappearing of personal effects to Tentacion as he was no longer in his house. So this girl do that? She didn't do that. So how do I know that this wasn't happening all along? Who was really stealing the money? Who was really taking ish? Who was really doing this all along? And who might have even wrecked her or roughed her up to get the money off of her? Let's think logically. If money's involved and you're stealing personal items, you wouldn't steal a couple racks and lie about it? Like, oh, nah, I hustled this. This mine. You guys are so credible that this didn't happen. Now, what disturbs me is not even the effect of the scarf around the neck, which somebody made a good point talking to me yesterday and said, could the scarf have been a cover-up for hands actually choking her? That was a good point, because if you did that, it would be a very effective way of covering up, because it's still strangulation, but the hand marks would be covered up by the scarf itself or a hanging. That makes more sense. Now, where did the hanging? They said it's a hanging. What'd you hang her from? In a Florida hotel. Where'd you hang her from? Not only my knowing, but other familiars who stay around there and know the potential hotels. How'd you hang yourself? What'd you hang yourself from? Couldn't have been the ceiling. Couldn't have been the stall above. How'd you hang yourself? Now, remember, we have funny investigators dealing with the situation with the X case because of people who got taken off the case. Could this have been a prior incident? And then let's get in the troops we have in the force that could have allegedly helped us fabricate something. Is that a possibility? See, it gets nastier because now when I look at it, the same name involved in Jocelyn's thing was brought to me low-key earlier and again. Now you're starting to repeat, and I'm like, why are you showing up? Stickman, Stickly, why you keep showing up? Why you keep showing up? And you know what? I know dudes like that. I know, looking at the situation, that type of stuff, I'm familiar with that type of thing. Then and from my knowledge about you, and I told you I was watching you. I told you that. I do see some funny stuff. So when I sat back and analyzed this, I was like, you know what? If someone was jealous, lame enough, they would need this route. They would. They would. Now, I know you're the quote unquote nerd of whatever movement you're trying to be a part of, but are you that lame to have been involved in some way with the alleged demise of a 16-year-old girl? That's how you ain't gonna make it. Them bars shut, you ain't gonna make it. I can tell you that. You ain't making it. You're gonna have to get affiliated, get dug out, whatever they tell you to do. You better keep your hand in someone's pocket at all times, because you're not built like that. Come on. Come on. You're not that seasoned. And I got you. See, what gets me is in the report, how did they miss it? How'd they miss it? Wait, you waited till the morning to call us? If you thought someone was in potential danger of doing something to themselves, you wouldn't make an attempt prior then. You're just going to let it happen, and I'll call in the morning. Really? And the fact they let that pass and even wasted their time going to question X really makes me think something ain't right. Because if this man told me he did get a janitor or someone around to co-sign your story, the door was locked. What type of locking door was it that it was impossible for you to lock it and close it? What kind of door? We don't know of that door. I did an investigation. We know not of that door unless it took a key. And it wasn't a key lock on that door. A specific hotel, I'm not even going to name. There wasn't. So now we got you. So here's my thing. I'm starting to find footprints of you in this X situation. And out of everyone, you've been the quietest. That's very funny. Look what someone would do just for some cheeks. Just for some cheeks. You couldn't go out and mac your own. You had to take advantage of someone else's. Really? Is that what I'm getting here? Is that what I'm getting here? And yeah, you may say, oh, he's just talking. I got the right people watching. I got the right people with the report. and whoever did it and wrote that, do you think they're going to cover for you when their career's on the line because a skinny loser wanted to get some cheeks off of a friend? You think they're going to cover for you? That's my thoughts of it, because it doesn't make sense. I reread it, read it again. I couldn't find a person that could make sense of it. I found out that the way the story was told, there's hours missing in between it. Is there some type of kit that was taken to really see if something was done to her beyond her consensual actions of whatever timing? Was someone else affluent? These are questions missing. And when there's missing links like this, now we're on to you. You can't play that game. We're not from a place where people could do crimes like that and let it go. Crimes from where I'm from are more personal than that. This seems a crime of selfishness. Let's ask ourselves, Queen, do you believe she really wanted to off herself? What would be the reason she takes herself just because money got stole from a place and she's accused of it? Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna throw another interesting thing at you too. Is the fact that someone gave me word, funny enough, that again, like you said before, shout out to CommenterNation and the fans and everybody who is concerned and wants different levels of justice to come to light. But someone stated to me that after Czarr's passing, that certain items, certain jewelry, different things went missing from his home.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got people like that around you, what makes you think that they weren't already doing that and trying to put the blame on somebody else?
Right. And I'd be willing to even give a pass, but the fact money went missing that night, and let's say that those girls were there, how do we know that the other girl, we don't even know, we just got a nickname, we haven't even heard from her. Now, what if we matched her up to have been the alleged other girl we seen in the event that deceased in the car? What if that happens? So two people get taken out after money goes missing? Isn't that interesting? What's the reach on that? And here's where it's just like, you see people who are low life trash. If this is happening and you're claiming to be men doing this to women, still again, it's the factor you need other men to be powerful. I can't respect that. If you're not a powerhouse on your own and you got to make phone calls just to be powerful, you can't stay. And look at what you're doing. Listen, I never heard of me to do dirt. Do it by yourself. Why do you have to take other people to jail with you? Do it by yourself. I don't understand it. Even when I'm looking at the suspect factor, that's probably why they're confused. Maybe they thought they were doing something to help someone out, and they end up here, allegedly, because we see they're being charged with something, but I could not find another situation experts of this magnitude have gotten involved. Never seen it. Never. This is a new era for us all. And these experts aren't playing. Listen, even if you're getting information from investigators, you're not going to get it all. Not with the amount of people that they have involved. Have you ever looked at the credentials of the people? These guys specialize in funny cases. They specialize in getting unique evidence. They specialize in viewing things happening in silence. They specialize. They're specialists. It's not a game. This isn't the normal investigators that miss everything. Oh, the case shut and closed. It's not them. This is a new level, a new era of individuals that professionalize. That's where things are at. We're all with a question mark. But I just found that Jocelyn Flores thing funny, being that I'm like, wait, it didn't sound right. I don't know who it sounded right to. Oh, she committed suicide. She strangled herself and hung herself from what? Oh, she was locked all day in the bathroom. The moment you came out, and if I was law, you came out, looked me in my eyes. You must think I'm some dummy. Looking me in my eyes and saying, I stayed here all night. I called in the morning because she locked herself in the room. And you knew she might have had suicidal tendencies if she did? Really? What are we talking about here? We're talking about some of the dumbest investigators known to humankind. If they believe that, they are some of the dumbest individuals, because you can get a stop when it's right in front of you. You can't see something don't make sense, and it involves a 16-year-old girl? Huh? Kanika Jenkins style, did you get something out of it? I gotta ask.
Okay, here's my thing. The only thing that concerns me is about liability. Like, I would have thought that they probably would have put Shorty on the first thing smoking back home. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they know, if they understand her behavior, if they understood, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I don't know. I'm not too sure, because a lot of people have different stories. Some say that the situation went down at his crib, and then some people say it went down in a hotel elsewhere. I don't know exactly how things transpired, I guess, from which point to which point. But from my understanding, it seemed like it was happening from his crib, and then, you know what I'm saying, they took her someplace else. But I would have thought that they would have put her on the first thing smoking if they know that there's some sort of, if she has these so-called suicidal tendencies, and then you have a monolithic, rapper who, you know what I'm saying, is cutting you off. That has to really hurt your feelings on one level or another. So I would think that you would want to be around people that actually care and support you.
Lessons learned. Yeah, we know. Here's what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm looking at the Jocelyn case. Let's look at the case right here dealing with what happened to X now. So you want me to believe that these two walk through, okay? They look in the store. X looks surprised. We have this crazy witness, Victor, who still hasn't been addressed, saying that, oh, I seen this and this. I challenge you. You back everything down. Oh, I wasn't there. I don't know anything. I never knew. Oh, I was just saying it. And then you're dead quiet. How does that work? Because if you were African American in this sort of case, they would have threw the book at you, because you put up a body without any consent online to show someone deceased. They didn't throw a book at you. Then little prairie dog, or whatever her name is, hops up here trying to come at me when I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't even block you right away. Matter of fact, you came back on like 2 different names. I didn't block you right away. I even spoke to you on Twitter before I blocked you for the 3rd time. And you said what you said that I did my other live on. So, you could go check that out, but come on. Really? The benefit of the doubt has been given many times here. And what's most hateful, and I see y'all hate is being talked about. Well, you shouldn't live a certain way. Why can't you get it off your own too? Why you got to get it off the back of taking out someone else? That's my problem. That's the problem. It's not people talking about it. It's because you can't get on your own 2 dirty feet and do something. Can't be someone. You got to take someone out along the way. You can't network to win. You got to see the demise of someone else to win, let alone a 16-year-old girl. And it's like you grown men get a kick out of that. But then you get served and something happens to you and you're pleading up and down like this ain't right, this, but you want to live your life however you want to live it. You want to do whatever to people. I don't understand how investigators spend time on the menial things when people like this are still walking free. It's not my job to do it. You put that badge on, you put that suit on, protect and serve, go out and do it. You can't see the inequities in the case. You don't. How did no investigator see what I was saying? And I seen little things happening to try and be like, oh, Czarr, here's the answer. Oh, Czarr, seeing this happen. And yeah, my commenters see it for the first time. But when I look at the dirty hands behind who presented it, I'm like, why don't you just come out and speak? I told you since the jump to say my name. But you don't want to do that. As you shouldn't, because you don't know what I have on you. As you shouldn't. So I don't blame you. But don't sit here and get mad. What are you getting mad about? Listen, I was rarely saying names. And one at a time they were jumping up. No, it's not true. No, I know you're talking about. That's your guilt. That's your guilt eating you. And if it doesn't eat you here, it's going to eat you in eternity. So you make a choice. Either you repent now or you just deal with the consequence. That's what it is. Nobody wants to stand a parent. All these men, none of them want to be held for their actions dealing with that. That's what I don't get. Do that. But a lot of times it seems like they don't even respect their own lives. Queen, I'm going to ask this. And I don't know if this has been answered. I don't know if it's been brought up. What happened to the video in his car?
That's a very good question. I mean, what happened to the video of him going upstairs? What happened to the different timestamps of him being in, standing, on that black and white tile? What were the time frames when these pictures were taken? Why aren't those little intricate details not being released to the public, basically? Because those timestamps would give us a clearer idea of when, allegedly these alleged murderers, Diedrich and Fat Boy, came into the building. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everything is about timing, right?
Right.
Show us the timestamp for when the shooting happened. I don't know if they showed us the timestamp right before he left out, because it looked like he was trying to bounce.
Right.
Trying to get out.
Yeah, he's seen them.
So that's what I don't understand.
And how come people are asking why the person with him was on the phone? I don't get that. He was obviously on a phone call. How come no one's ever brought that up? They never brought that up. I'm like, am I in the Twilight Zone? I know I say that a lot, but if you think I'm crazy because of the video and different things, am I really in the Twilight Zone? Y'all don't see what I'm seeing? Who's really missing that? Y'all didn't see that. You didn't see the look on the store clerk's face. Y'all didn't see the text messages that came out with Panama conversating with somebody about his whereabouts. Someone letting them know he's there. Y'all didn't see this? I mean, look, if you're going to do a setup of some sort like this, I guess you're going to do what you got to do. But if you're such a special person, why? Why? Especially when you were eating with him. Y'all were eating with him. But now it's like I get the spotlight now, and we see somebody getting the spotlight. I'm not going to go into it. Getting the spotlight above and beyond everyone else. Your time's always coming when that type of stuff happens. Don't ever think you're exempt. It's just a matter of time. Because when you do those type of things to crush somebody, then you get replaced and used a certain way. So that's what I'm saying. Let's get them over to the lab. Get them over to the lab now. Get them over to the lab. Let's stop waiting. Get them to the lab. Give them their due. They had their time to shine. and we'll keep it pushing. Next subject. Get them to the lab. Here's what I want to say right here too. There's something else that's bothering me since the beginning of this case. The autopsy and toxicology. This ideology has not been addressed in any way, shape, or fashion. Not even acknowledged correctly. Hit that like button coming through. You know what time it is. Stop playing with us. Stop playing with me. You see, there's a lot of other people saying stop playing with me. No, it ain't trademark. But stop playing with me. When I was saying it, I didn't hear too many other people saying it, because I heard certain people say it. Now everybody trying to say, R. Kelly hopping up there, stop playing. Shut up. Shut up. You shut up and do your interview. All that fun you were having with them young, come on, dummy. I beat my case. Maybe you did. But don't say you never did it before. That's stupid. Now, the one girl we seen doing the interview with you, R. Kelly, we seen that. She was looking off into the distance, taking cues. Again, people acting like who was giving her cues on what to say? She was like, no, I'm okay with being here. No, ain't nothing happening. No, it's all good. No. We seen that.
Okay, well, really quick though, but is it uncommon? Okay, I'm not gonna touch base on nothing pertaining to minors or anything like that. I know that's like the juicy core of it, but let's just talk about the two females that was like in the interview really quick, who were legal of age,
okay,
and decided to basically make R. Kelly their daddy. Let's be for real,
right?
Like, I'm sorry, I'm from Chicago. Basically, if you run with your daddy, you keep your eyes down. You understand what I'm saying? Like, right. I'm gonna just be for real with you. I don't believe in this. I don't really condone it. But I'm gonna be honest. My father used to be a drug dealer and a pimp. I know what the code is. I ain't nobody got to tell me what it is, what time it is, or whatever the situation is. I know he don't want that for me. He don't want that lifestyle for me. But he wasn't shy about telling me what he used to do as a young man. So when you basically rolling with your daddy, you basically keep your eyes down. The only thing that you're supposed to look on a man is basically seeing how nice his motherfucking shoes is, not his face. Because basically, if you give another man eye contact for anything, that means that you choosing them, right? Let's just talk some pimp logic here. This is something that we all know in different cities, however it goes down. He's gonna make sure that he's sitting in that room while Gail is interviewing those young ladies to make sure that basically everything is running smooth, right?
Right.
Because for one, he's putting his life in their hands. And at any moment, if he were to walk away, what if they were to say something, slip up, say some extra stuff, and that could be a whole nother exclusive within itself.
Yeah.
A whole nother investigation within itself.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I have no conjecture to that. I'm with it. And Empress Austin, I caught what you said. You said folks acting like they ain't do nothing when they're young. Yes, I agree with you. But there ain't no, I told this story, I'll tell it again. There was one time I went out with my friend, and this Brazilian girl, she was extra thick, thick. We were chilling and stuff. I had a good time. And, I don't know what came upon me. I was like, wait, how old are you? She told me her age. Date was over. I was like, I'm done. And I was just 18, 19. I said, this date's done. She was like, no, this date's done. Hop out. And I stood on it. Listen, she was thick. She paid for the movie. I don't care. That's before I knew. Hop out. It didn't turn big, but I was like, nah, hop out. I need you to hop out. I wasn't rocking like that. Not at 18 or 19. If you're over 27, 25, 27, and you're still making choices like that, you got issues. Oh, but bruh, she's so thick. I know she's young. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. You best get out my face with that. Nobody's playing those games. Like, you got to keep it moving. There was another time I was chilling with this girl. We were about to pull off. She said her age. I spun her around the block and she got out. No, nah. You got to go. You got to go. Hop out. Get out. She looked amazing. I'm not going to lie about this. They looked amazing, both of them. For their age, I did not know. They looked older. There are women that are maturing at an older rate, but you got to know when to hit the brake and say, hit the brakes. Hit it. I ain't got no rap for you. I ain't got no time for you. I don't care if you look older. I don't care if older other men had you and was like, yeah. I'm not a pervert like that. If you rock like that and you're a man, whether you're here or not, shame on you. That's somebody's daughter. Shame on you. Shame on you. Because you're taking advantage of the situation. You know she's young, her mind's open, you got her nose open, so you gonna ride her. I ain't really, she's of a right age, we can rock. Period. And if I don't see how you guys don't get that, it's like the more guys I see, let me say this, and I ain't never said it. There were 2 stars, again, I remember I told y'all around the summertime that was texting a girl I was chilling with. Now, Queen, this sickened me. They could not stop asking about her daughter. Want to guess how old her daughter was?
15?
1 or 2 years old. I do not. Czarr puts this on everything. They could not stop asking about her, saying, send us some pictures. 2 years old. And I double checked the accounts and it was these superstars. I was like, you nasty. I was like, and I read her messages and, you know, me and her were talking. I was like, hey, listen, you could do what you want, but these guys are asking about your daughter way too much. When I get to know about a woman, I'll mention, hey, how's such and such doing? Oh, okay. But they start the conversation asking about her daughter. Every time. Where do they do that? She's just 2. She's 2 years old. The father at that time wasn't even asking about the daughter like that. That's when I got sick to my stomach. Like, you nasty mofos. I know y'all ain't asking about the daughter like that. Like, what type of world are we living in? It was sick. What the heck? I literally, you know, she didn't get it at first. She didn't understand. I took her through her text and was like, think about it how I'm thinking about it. And when she got it, she looked like she turned a green. She turned a different color. She was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, you don't see that? I was like, why are these grown men older than me asking about your 2-year-old every single time they get? I was like, wow. And again, I told y'all I ain't saying their names. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't ever gonna say their names. I just know how y'all rock. I'm just putting that out there. I know how y'all rock. So yeah, keep your distance from me. If that's how you ride, keep your distance from me. We ain't moving the same. Now, I wanted to, let me see something real quick. Yeah, thank you, Maya. Oh, and yeah, it was a good decision because you don't want to get tied up in those situations. I really don't want to. I need the certain level of energy. I really want to. And that's part of what my goal is, to push the energy. Now, here's my thing. And this isn't about the R. Kelly thing in specific. I just want to put it out there. Did we not see R. Kelly with a very young rising star at a time where she was about 14 to 16? And didn't he marry someone at one point that was a star that was that young? She was a superstar that young. We seen that. That's nothing new. So none of this shocked me. Now, for the women of age that he had to go, shame on you, because one of you left your husband to be in the all night with him in there. The funniest thing I saw, you guys got to check it out. Deleted Gang. Oh my goodness, is that funny? Go check out his R. Kelly video. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It really did make a lot of sense. And I couldn't stop laughing. So shout out to that video he did. I thought that video was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, R. Kelly's publicist, I agree with the Czarr report. If you guys had a chance to see it, R. Kelly's publicist and whoever convinced him to do that should be fired. You're stupid. You put him in front of someone who's known for breaking people down, like he's not going to break down. Really? He was going to survive that interview with her. He was doomed. Once that interview was set, they were in the back room laughing like, this dummy. He's coming in front of me. I'm the one. He's coming in front of me. Did you see how calm she was? Even when he stood up, she's like, I'm not done ripping you apart. She was ready for him. Oh, and shout out to Cleo getting a shout out by Tiny. That's what's up. Supporting other artists and different things. I give credit where it's due. Shout out to that. If y'all ain't checked that out, go read that. I forget the magazine, but go read that. And Empress Austin, they are sick. That is sick. I agree. Now, back to the type of ideology, and I'll tie it in for you so you get the mentioning of things. So 16 is able to accept. So Jocelyn would have been acceptable whether she slept with any of the guys around that I know of because of her age. But if she's forced, it's a crime. Queen, do you believe she could have been forced within those hours before she arrived at that hotel?
When you say forced, are you speaking about as far as consensual?
They blackmailed her for the buns. Is that possible?
I mean, if you have a situation to where you have someone who's respectable and who respects the ladies and respects the law, and then they're no longer under their jurisdiction, anything can go down from between the time Shorty leaves the crib, right?
That's possible, but because
at that point there's no liability.
If she had, let's say she had the money, could it have been possible that that's the reasoning, that she was roughed up for the money?
I mean, it could be. I mean, see, this the way that I keep feeling. It's like when it comes down to that whole financial situation. Like, here's my thing. How do people, for one, if you got like a load of cash somewhere, right? And regardless of what it is, wouldn't there be, I mean, I would think that you wouldn't necessarily suspect the people that are around you to do you like that, right?
Mm-hmm. No, not at all.
Real. Let's be for real though. Let's be honest with the situation. Are they making that bread like the way that you're making it? Are they pulling in that weight the way that you pull in that weight in?
Nah, no,
Oh, okay.
not at all. Matter of fact, let's say that they're broke and you're number one, it's not their job. He's not these guys' daddies. It's not his job to feed you. If he's breaking bread with you, it's from the kindness of his heart. That's what part of my problem is. But at the same token, when I'm looking at it, let's think Micheal Boatwright and these suspects. We've seen them in various videos. They've been around. I've seen videos and stuff. Who was taking it? Who was taking these videos? Who was doing them? Who was making this stuff happen the way it did? That's the question. That's what plagues my mind. Who was making it happen the way it did? How was this stuff acceptable?
Look, that's the reason why I feel like if you have new people coming into your space, right? I would assume you'd be very leery,
right?
Who they are, how they moving in your crib. You know what I'm saying? Around your people or whatever it is. And here's the thing too: if people are accusing certain people of taking things, wouldn't they be able to find it right off the rip? Where would they have gone to stash that money or to spend it, for that matter, if you're around them all the time?
Alyssa S. Yes, we're still waiting on footage from the bank. Yes. Where would they go to spend the money? Let me say this. If they're spending it on, let's say, something that isn't in the store, something that's off the market, it couldn't be tracked, though. How would you track that? Especially if you're sharing whatever you're buying with everyone, but they don't realize you're sharing it with their money. Or say it was enough for rent. If you were like, yo, I got that rent money, and it was really their money being given back to them. It's not like on the bill you remember the numbers or you spend it. You don't look at that stuff. What I'm confused at is how did they ever come out to say they matched that money that was taken from the bank with the money that was in his bag? I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, it's that factor. And then where is the conclusion of us understanding that all of these people who said they did what they did actually did that? Like showing up to the place or being around every day, as one of the fake witnesses claimed. Like there's nothing to prove that. Then you want to know what got me? You were saying bro to a guy I never seen, holding up a pink bag, telling me to be humble when you're holding and flashing money. You got your God in a bag. And that's where your prayer ends. You get it? You want to do that to look like someone important, but then you got this liar calling you bro. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. The moment she called you bro, I said, y'all both funny style. I knew it. The moment this snake called you bro, birds of a feather, I knew what you were. So I knew they were fraudulent. And I actually just picked apart your motive. That's how I knew. You can't run in a clique of people that want to lose and expect to win. Yes, you can make a change, but their mentalities as grown men and women make the change itself. That's part of my problem. All these people popping up. Oh, it's a conspiracy. The girl China with two N's hopping up. Ah, something fraudulent. When you did a reading for her, And she told you it was accurate. But now it's a problem. You're a fraud. Motive is beginning to match up.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing is, and you know, I'm not going to
Matching up.
by their names.
Your motives
So
matching up.
The whale at the end of the day, I did a few readings for free for this person.
That's crazy.
Just to believe, when I initially charged, it was only like a little mere $20, and now it's just going up by interest. So I'm just gonna say that, you know, the debt is $80 at this point.
$80 for a reading. Message Queen Prodigy. She's authentic. I promise that. Cash App.
Thank you. That Cash App is at basically Queen Prodigy 369. But really quick, I'm just gonna make a quick point on that situation. It's like, I just feel like, you know, people throw dirt on your name, they hate on you, they do all of this other stuff, but you have to realize the what is at stake here, right? When you're looking at people who are who have been affiliated, you know what I'm saying, to those that have a large, you know, large platform, large standing, whatever the situation may be. There's a lot of sharks, you know what I'm saying, swimming around, and you never know who is really rocking with who. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you realize, when you're looking at how people move, right? When they basically throw in, you know, if let's just say I'm like in a chat or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and I throw your video up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing your video up there because I'm like, oh, you know, Czarr's talking about this, you know, or whatever, just to, you know, I do that all the time. I look at different articles and I throw it up in there, and I want to see how people think. That's a natural thing. It's, you know what I'm saying, to basically have a conversation with people and see what their thought processes are. But I guess only certain people are only supposed to be watching Sesame Street hip hop news whenever it come out on the Sesame Street hip hop platform, right? So ain't nobody supposed to go to ACT. Ain't nobody supposed to go anywhere else. Ain't nobody supposed to go to Complex or go to you for any type of information. But what kind of world do we live in? We have, if we were to only sit here and choose one channel to watch, right, and
mm-hmm.
actually pay for television, would we actually just pay for one channel to watch?
Not at all.
All right. So when you see how people move in defense of trying to slander someone else's name, and they saying, oh, this person fake, this person doing fake work, or this person doing that. But at the same time, too, if you're the person that's behind the wall, right, and you're trying to look after whatever you got going on and everything else, if you think about it, the ones that are actually putting their ass out here to talk about these things, excuse my language, the ones that are putting their behinds out here to do these things, if you don't realize it, is actually taking the heat off of those behind the wall.
Objectively, Drake's a hit maker. I'm sorry. He is. I mean, it is what it is, but I think Tentacion's a hit maker too. That's just my opinion. Now, do I think they unitedly have people around them that hate? All the time. It just makes me upset when there's situations that may have hit makers and people that make music in their own right going against each other. That makes me feel bad, because there's so many lanes you guys could do war with. Why do war with each other when you're two greats? Can you get some of these lames that be on the track? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Get them out the industry. War with them. Why go to war with somebody else? I know it's not as fun. Look, it's not as much of a brain.
I know. I like to break things down. See, I don't think that a lot of people understand. And I was actually going to touch on this, but I have no problem touching on it tonight, because I'm just like really, really in the mood right now. For one, I'm going to talk about the stars, right? And I know this sounds crazy. But I'm going to say it like this. Drake is actually Draco. Look that up. Look up what that means. Look up what the snake means. Okay? Also, when you're looking at homie Offset, right? His last name is what? Cephas, or whatever.
Really?
King Cephas is is actually a star constellation who is married to who?
I don't know.
Does anybody know? They don't know their Greek history. Oh, let me break it down for you. Caspia, who has the daughter Andromeda, right? Culture or Cardi, right? There's a lot of science behind what other people have that are related to star constellations that it's not even funny. I saw an article the other day, and I often refer to Czarr as Osiris, right? I refer to him as Osiris. Even in certain terms, Osiris has a close connection to another warrior star constellation, Hercules. Funny enough, I'm looking at an article pertaining to someone very dear to him that he loves so much, put in an article saying his nickname was Hercules. What is the odds of that? And do you know that funny enough that it was Hercules that had to battle Draco? That had to battle the beast within? See, a lot of people ain't paying attention. A lot of people just sitting here thinking that this is all. It's like they really feel like the allegory in the cave is just like some made up story, that's being some sort of tale that's being told. But we're actually living it in real life.
Right. Well, I mean, when I first came out, I had Czarr Jaspera, and a lot of people were like, "What's Jaspera mean?" It was said it's what a Haitian guy. He couldn't really say my name that well, so he was just calling me Jaspera. And I asked him what it means, and I found out I didn't know. Jasper, it's a jewel, and it's the 12th jewel in the armor of God. And I just was confused the whole time. He kept saying Jaspera, Jaspera, and that's all he would say. And he could pronounce my name, but he kept calling me Jaspera. And when I figured that out, I was like, I was like, interesting. The 12th jewel in the armor of God, the final jewel. That's how I came to actually know. So people asked what that meant. That's why it was Jaspera. And that's what a Haitian was calling me.
And so a lot of people are saying the Svengali scorpion, and I understand that. But before Scorpio was actually a scorpion, it used to be an eagle, or actually have the form of a snake. So it's the same way it's linked to Ophiuchus, right? The snake as well. So y'all have to there's layers upon layers of this stuff. Even when you look at the United States emblem or seal, it has, what does it have on it? It has an eagle eating a snake, right? I mean, man, I ain't got time to get deep into some stuff because I'm telling you, because sometimes you can't say too much about like talking about the belly of the beast for real. But
yeah,
people better start to wake up and put some things together.
I mean, I know well about these type of things. I just, the way I see it is, look, and I'll tell the story. And shout to the person. I didn't come up with this information. They talk with me, as well as some things I reference that I say I talk to people behind the scenes. Before X's tragedy, he lined his members up. Okay. He gave each member a duty. He maybe even gave you a title. And he told you the importance that you bring to him. Who else do we know of reference to have done that? Jesus Christ. Did he not have someone who was a traitor amongst them? So if we're looking at different things repeat themselves, I found that very interesting.
I mean, the fact that things are replaying itself out in this current moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how great you are, how solid you think dudes are around you. If your team is really strong, there's going to be somebody who has a selfish need in it. It's very rare everyone, all 100 is pleased. That's rare. Now, here's the thing I want to put out there. Lolita, she told me to elaborate on the person that we're talking about. They're tatted up also. They're skinnier than X, they look to me. And they were the ones that called the police to come to the Jocelyn situation. And it got invested how it did. So in my mind, it's like, how'd you get away with that? Any investigator showing up would have, yeah, they questioned you. I would have said, get them hands behind your back fast. Get in the car. Why in these cases are they giving so many passes to the people who did the fake news story? To the people, it's like, is this just Florida law? What's crazier is this same dude hops off his lives when we come around. So whenever we hop on his live, he jumps off. That's why I got people who names you never seen watching you. Because I'm like, why go live if you're scared of someone coming on and hearing or seeing something? What's the purpose? It's awkward. It's just weird. I don't get it. Do you see me hopping off live because I'm like, oh, such and such may be here? It's weird. It's awkward. And it looks guilty. It looks guilty. See, and what I'm presuming, it got tiring being the camera guy, watching someone else live the life. So it's like, I need my share. It's that simple. And what's crazy is that the stories I'm hearing surrounding the initial events, they stick out like a sore thumb. Like, this person has motive to be angry because of that. And it's like, come on, get yourself together. Come on. It's like,
I mean, words don't lie, right? If you're putting information into lyrics, I mean, I funny enough, it's kind of crazy because the people that are mainly talking about one particular situation, actually a few people that are talking about this situation are now getting replicated tattoos that I used to have.
I know.
I mean, it could be, oh, it's so sincere, it's this and that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
These guys, I mean, bottom line, taking his personal items upon leaving the house. Come on. Really? You were so broke. You had to take, and you never did that before. You never. Let me tell you something about a thief. Let me tell you something. There's something about a thief where when the opportunity presents itself, you can't help it. You got to get whatever you can out of every situation, even if you're stealing. That's why there's not one time I ever stole. And I know people are like, no, seriously. Because being a thief, there's a certain level of selflessness you must achieve to be a thief in any way, shape, or form. Whether you seen someone drop it, you picked it up and said nothing, whether you knowingly just snatched it, or you took something by mistake and never brought it back. There's a certain level of thievery that you really can't take back. And it could be the smallest thing. It could be a dime. It could be a quarter. If you don't have the ability to give the small things back, for these larger things, it's like a dog foaming at the mouth. You can't help yourself. So that's the problem with thieving and thieves in general. You can't help yourself after a while. It's I gotta do it. I gotta have it. That's my problem. That's my problem. And why I'm not literally throwing names out here, because I don't move that way. I know he's funny. He knows he's funny. I know what he did. He knows what he did. Do I really have to put you out there? Because this long, and all this happened, I'm really supposed to believe you're authentic. I just know the other guys around you, they better be careful. Because someone like that, they'll do anything to take someone else out just to blow up or be great. And they'll tell you to your face. Matter of fact, they'll be the person that helps you the most, then plots on your downfall. It really is. That's really how it works. Especially when someone at this level of pennies compared to the industry of what you can make is willing to do that stuff, you can't be trusted. So for pennies, you're willing to just toss someone away for a lifetime experience of accomplishment. That shows the lack of character and the lack of skill you even have to bring to the game. It's just a fact. It shows that there is a limit to what it is you bring, period. Period. To the point you're willing to even be thought of, allegedly being a 16-year-old girl. If you guys have daughters and kids right now, stop playing with me and think. You find out that your 16-year-old daughter or son is hanging around with friends, and for their own benefit, one of the friends allows something terrible to happen to him. Are you going to respect that? Like, well, he was hanging with him. Well, that was the situation. You respect that? Really? You respect that? Just for how many people, raise your hand at home, how many people think money is wealth? Money defines wealth. Oh, millions define wealth. If you knew anything about America, you know good credit defines wealth. Good credit, because you have endless access to money. If you haven't learned that yet, you got a lot to learn.
Ooh, can I actually put a slight rebuttal to that, if you don't mind? I would like to say that good health requires good wealth, because how you gonna make the money if you're sick all the damn time?
I agree, but I'm just talking in terms of something you could use to buy. Not in terms of like overall, but more or less the difference between cash and credit of America. That credit is checked on buying a house. Credit is checked on when you're trying to get a credit card from a store. And this is cash. We are going to be a cashless society. So the cashless means is the future. And that's what people aren't seeing. They think they take someone out, get a couple $1,000. Say we lost the being the main source of the way other countries trade, because the American dollar is king right now. We're on top of everyone. We lose that, money's useless. We're in so much debt in this country, money's useless. So I'm saying everything they did for that change means nothing. All the people you wiped out for it means nothing. It really does mean nothing. And that's what I don't get. It's like you gave up a lifetime of friendship with certain people just to have your moment of fame, just to have sex with a few women that sleep with you because of who you're around now. What was it worth? And I fully agree with you. Health is everything. Above that, the reason I said it wasn't wealth, because health is above all that.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but with the Jocelyn thing, what is the percentage? Well, not even with her. First, What's the percentage you think of a suspect actually walking free in this X case?
Honestly, I don't know how true this is. This is all alleged. But you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, when you have multiple eyes, it's definitely better than two. But then when you have the eye of God, it's everywhere. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So my thing is, I've heard from wonderful sources that that basically there's gonna be at least one dude that might just walk, that might be dismissed in this situation because they wrapping their stuff real tight. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, I kind of said it from Jump Street. So when it happens, I'm not really. I know there might be people who might get upset, who are hurt, who don't understand what's going on, But at the same time, too, that's why I kept saying to people, be mindful of how you respond to people, because see, what you're doing, you may be casting stones at the wrong folks.
And I'm gonna leave it there. Let them know your Instagram.
Again, you can hit me up on Queen Prodigy on YouTube, also on Twitter. Also, you have the accessibility to hit me up on IG at Queen Prodigy 0369, and I'm gonna put an extra little plug up in there. Hit me up on Queen Prodigy 369 at gmail.com. Please just send regular, responses, basically. And I'll get back to you.
Tell them your Cash App to hit up. So for readings, message her, Cash App her. Let them know your Cash App.
No problem. So the Cash App is Queen Prodigy 369. So basically, if you want a reading or donating, whatever the situation may be, just let me know, and I will accommodate y'all as quickly as I can. I'm doing as much as I can. I have people hit me up on IG. I got people hit me up via email who don't have IG. So I'm like really booked up with readings, and I'm grateful to all of you who are making references, who who are passing me along to other people. It's all love, and I'm so grateful to every single one of you for showing me love and really seeing that I have potential, and I believe that all of you have the same amount of potential in your own right.
Everybody, donate to Queen Prodigy, support it. You got the money, get a reading, support what she has going, reach out to her, and we're going to keep moving and stay focused. And let's move the case forward. Let's move the ideology forward. As you've heard it here, it's interesting to see if any of the suspects actually do walk free. And if that happens, a lot of y'all are going to have to eat y'all words. A lot of y'all.
There's gonna be a wave, man. We're gonna be surfing real hard body. We're gonna be surfing real nice. But I'm just gonna sit back and wait and watch.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and a lot of people gonna be mad. And all these socialites that had her name up there funny, I'm gonna zone in on you. I know I said that I was gonna let stuff go, but I said the beef was over, but I lied. I'm not letting y'all skate. No, I'm gonna ask you, and you probably miss how it works. Go ahead and offer any reply. You're gonna give me more than enough information I need about you because of what I'm actually saying. So, I'm not letting y'all slide like that. Forget that. We different over here. We work hard. Y'all just put up other people's pictures and videos, smile, run up beside family members, take pictures. I ain't never rocked that way, but I still chat with them. And I still spoke to them about you sliding up in the picture. Like, oh, it's like that. You're going to let them just slide up in the picture like that? Yeah, I asked them that. Yeah, I did. And they said, let me know they ain't a part of that. So as far as I see, that means you ain't that important. And that may mean nothing to you now, but it will. And you may think that it means very little and it's not going to affect you, but it will. I think I played nice with a lot of y'all, but I'm really on my grind and I really got people on the move. So I'm going to see what's up with that. You got other people's intellectual property, and that's what makes up your entire social media. But you want to take shots at people who do theories and think through information. That's a problem. And it's a problem that I'm no longer going to tolerate. And you don't have any creativity to bring. You don't have an ideology to bring. You should keep your mouth shut. That's number one. And if you don't get that, you ain't going to get it what the future is going to bring either. You don't understand. So that's why you shouldn't be a part of it. I'm sorry. Your worth is demeaned because of the way you do business. Period. Go support, get everything together, rock with the channel. Hit me up on Instagram, CZARR_ all rights reserved, one word. Hit me up there if you have anything to say. That's to any of you and some. If you have anything to say, I'll get back to you. And, I have no problem giving you a number. You hit me up. We can handle it that way. However, business, whatever we got to talk about. Also, go hop on the Twitter @ALL CZARR. Subscribe, hit the bell so you're ready for community updates, things I post in there, and updates in general. Also, go over to Queen Prodigy on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, slide over to the Instagram she gave you, support her Cash App, Queen Prodigy 369. Donate, get your reading. 80 or better. That's what she's starting at. All rights reserved.